Hey, what is going on, guys? It's your boy Taz from Take It Outside, and today we've got something a little bit different for you today. So instead of cooking like all my other videos thus far, we're going to be working on the Tacoma. For those of you that don't know, I've got a 2019 Tacoma SR5. Nothing fancy, but we do got a couple upgrades on there. Since I haven't had it on the channel before, I'll go through it front to back and show you what I got, and then we'll get into what we're doing today. So on the very front here, we have upgraded light bulbs. They're LEDs. They can switch between white and amber, nothing fancy, all the way around, high, lows, and fogs. I will be upgrading the actual headlights shortly, but they make do for right now. Right up here in the front, we've got the Cali raised stealth bumper with the bull bar. We've got some old Harbor Freight D-loops, and then we've got the Overland Vehicle Systems synthetic winch, 10,000 pound, mounted onto that bumper. Haven't used it yet, just messed around with it, but super excited for our camping trip later on this year. Moving on up, we have the Sherpa Equipment Company roof rack, probably the best roof rack in the game in my humble opinion. Mounted up to that, we have the Rome Adventure Co. 5-foot awning. Last year, me and the woman, we went camping and we got fried. Absolutely fried. Promised myself I'd never do that again, and found this on Facebook Marketplace for 100 bucks. Pretty good steal. So, moving on down, we've got the Dominson's MRR fully adjustable 3-way coilovers. So high and low speed and rebound adjustment. Right up there, got the teal coils. I think these are the 200-pound springs. Gave me about 2 1/4 ish lift in the front. Moving on down, we got the 4-wheel parts, rock sliders with kick out. This has actually saved me a few times going off-road. And to round off the rear suspension, I went with a Wheeler off-road progressive add-a-leaf system that gave me 1.5 inches in the rear. You take out your overload spring, put in 3 progressive springs, evens out the ride, makes it a lot more enjoyable, gives you a little bit of lift. Matched with that, we just got some old 5100s. Bilstein 5100s ain't nothing fancy, just to improve that shock and give me a little bit more lift. Everything actually worked out. We are completely level all the way around, with the 1.5 inch in the front, and then the 2 1/4 in the, 1.5 inch in the rear, 2 1/4 in the front. But last but not least, we've got this little guy right here. I actually like this thing a lot. It's the mountain hatch insert, tailgate insert. This is food grade, so if I wash this down, if I wanted to, I could cut, cook, and eat off of this, but I don't. We've got some cubbies here, 100% American made. Can't beat it. So that's just a quick little preview, wrap up, whatever you want to call it, of the Tacoma. And you may be asking yourself, what are you doing now? Well, I have purchased a cooler, refrigerator, 12-volt fridge, whatever you want to call it, for camping. Last year, I was also another deal. We went for about 4 or 5 days, and we just used a regular old Arctic cooler, and while it lasted great for the first few days, it was nothing but water by the end of it, and it actually ruined some food. Luckily, we had some non-perishables, like some, MRE type meals that we were able to eat, and some other small stuff to round off our trip. But I promised myself I would never let that happen again. With that said, though, I don't want that mounted in the tailgate. I don't have any kind of special brackets or anything like that. So with that being said, we are going to do a rear seat delete. We're not doing a full rear seat delete. We are only doing this 40% section right here, right behind the driver's seat. And basically what that's going to do is it's going to remove this seat right here, front, top and bottom. And we're also going to remove this little cubby section. I'm going to replace it with the panel. It's going to give me some more storage back this way because it's pretty much flat. And then also we have to get rid of the storage in here. No big deal. I'm still going to have access to the extra storage. I just won't have this little fancy latch right here, but it will replace this with a lockable latch that I can remove. And then the platform that replaces this seat right here extends all the way out to about right there. And there's another panel that is lockable that will give me additional storage down here that is blocked off on both sides, so nothing's rolling around. So you may ask, well, why are you doing a video on this? Well, simply put, there's only like one video that is out, and it's both sections, 60 and 40%, and it's okay. And it doesn't come with directions, and they're not very much help with install. So hopefully I can figure this out on my own, and this be a reference point for anybody else who's using the Goose Gear 40% rear seat delete, because all they have online is a PDF file of their instructions. They don't even separate the nuts and bolts and hardware for you. They just throw it all in one bag and say pretty much, hey, figure it out. But hopefully I can get it figured out. I'm a little mechanically inclined. Everything that you've seen on the vehicle so far, I've done myself, by myself, with zero help aside from YouTube. So hoping to be that guy for somebody else. But first things first, we got to get in here and we got to remove this seat. We got to remove that bottom storage, and then I'm probably going to vacuum some stuff up, and then we will get on with the install. So y'all hang around. Sorry for this long-winded intro, but let's get started. All right, so first things first, we are going to set this seat down. You got 3 bolts here, 1, 2, and 3. It's going to be 10 millimeter. Go ahead and zip those off real quick. All right, so once you've got those 3 bolts zipped off, you're going to go ahead and pull up right here and pry this back. It's going to pop this side right here. However, I want to keep this 60% cubby hole so I can store more stuff over there. If you see right here, there's a separation. You should be able to pull that and it pop off just like so. And that way you can keep your 60% section. Got little tabs right there. Like I said, easy peasy, not super hard. All right, so here we've got this seat flipped up. You got 2 bolts right here, 14 millimeter. I'm gonna go ahead, zip these off. All right, we got that bottom seat undone. I guess technically you could do this right after you take that little cubby hole out, but right here, and you'll have to move this carpet out of the way. Right here, there are 2 bolts, 1, 2, 1, and 2. These are 12 millimeters. Go ahead, zip those off. That's going to take off this top seat right here. A little trick, if this front bolt right there, if you're able to get to it from back here, you flip this up like so. I recommend these ratcheting wrenches and just go to town and it'll come on loose. All right, one thing to note, if you're doing just the 40%, there's this little plastic cap right here on the back. Pop this up. There's a 14 millimeter bolt right here. Go ahead, zip that off. You'll be able to move your seat out. Also, it is probably important to note that I will be keeping all of this hardware just in case I want to install this into the future. So I'm going to keep all these separate and label them where they go. All right, if you've made it this far, sick. The only problem I see possibly is this little bar right here. However, there's a little notch cut out, so hopefully we're able to keep this on here. If not, I'll just zip it off with an angle grinder. Once you got your seats out, go ahead, open up your trunks trunk, whatever you want to call it. And all I've got is these little plastic trim piece removers, and you're just going to go around. I've already started, like, as you can see, and you're just going to go through and you're going to get up under this material here between the carpet, and you're just going to pop up. If you break these, it's no big deal. You can buy these replacements on Amazon super cheap, but just go around, pop every single one off, and then you're going to remove this entire tray. What is caught? Oh. All right, so you may have seen me get caught up right there. It was this little piece, this little hook with a rubber band, this little plastic trim piece that slots in. Go ahead, pop this off. Whole tray will come out. All right, as you can see, we've got that storage bucket out. I just got it right back there. But next thing we need to do is take out this seat belt because it will get in the way. Right up here behind this little tab, 10mm bolt. Zip that out real quick. All right, once you got that taken out, you're going to start pulling this trim piece off, and then right up under here you got a 14mm bolt that holds in your seat belt. Go ahead, zip that off. All right, once you got that all zipped off, you're just going to go ahead, pull this trim back. These are all clips, so you don't have to worry about anything breaking here. All right. And then once you got that pulled back, what you're going to do is you're going to undo this bolt right here. Let's see. It is a 14mm, and then you got another that looks like a 10mm. Let's see, where did I put that? Okay. Right here you got a little bracket. Yep, another 10mm. So 10mm right here, 14mm right here. Take those out. So, on the bottom here was another 14mm bolt. So you got a 14 up here, 10mm right here, and then another 14 right here. You'll take out that whole assembly. Best way to put this trim piece back in is if you got any of these white tabs still connected to here, go ahead, pop those out. You can just use a trim tool like I mentioned before. And then you're going to slide these in, and then you'll just work this in, and these will clip right back in. So we've got that seat belt out. Now we're going to put our trim piece back on. After a little bit of finessing, we've got our trim piece in. One thing to note, make sure that this bottom piece goes over this trim piece right here. Like I mentioned before, they're all clips. Next thing, all we have to do is cut off this carpet right here, exposing these two bolts, and then right here on the corner where the old storage bucket was, cut a little notch, exposing this. I'm going to clean that up a little bit, and then after that should start putting in the pieces. I'm going to do a quick little vacuum of this real quick though. All right, so here is the Goose Gear 40% seat delete. This is the version 2, which comes with the side panels. So this panel right here is going to be the panel on the ground whenever you open up the floor. This is going to be the front support bracket of this bottom panel right here. And then this is going to be the divider on the inside, being sure that nothing rolls out towards the passenger side. So now once we've got the interior prepped and ready to go, we have to build this bottom panel real quick. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with this front piece. It has these little grooves and these bolts. So you're going to loosen these up from the front. This is the front with the bolts facing out, and then you're going to slide these down and shim these in right here, and then you're going to repeat the process for the other two panels. Alright, so for reference, this is the side where you open up the door. This is the back that's going up against the cab. And this is the front. Alright, so this is the front cubby I mentioned before that is going to give you additional storage for the floor portion. And that is the cubby right there that is going to give you access to your storage that is built into the vehicle. So, as I mentioned before, this is the front. So that is going to go like that. And then this panel right here, that is the outside, that is going to slide into the little shims like that. And then this back, well, this side panel I should say, not that one. This is the outside, again with the same shims, and that's going to shim in like that. Alright, so stick around and I'm going to put these together. Alright, so as I mentioned before, 4mm Allen. You're going to loosen these up so you got just enough space like so, and then you are just going to slide it into this front notch right here. So you may have to play with the tightness just to get it right, but if you loosen these up all the way and they fall down, they become quite the pain. So just gonna slide that right there, boom, rotate, and boom. So just like that, you're going to repeat the process on all three sides. So front, side panel, small panel down there. Alright, so one important thing to note, go ahead and keep these loose. So if you need to adjust this, you can. For instance, this front panel is slid all the way over. Had no issues coming in this front side right here with this panel. However, not enough room to slide this in. So I'm just going to loosen up these 3 screws in the front, slide this panel down so I can get this panel in. Alright guys, excuse the mess. So going into the hardware portion of this, to make it super easy for everybody, I'm going to go ahead and number these off 1 through 5 in reference to their size. So this small screw right here is going to be 1. This medium sized screw is going to be 2. On up 3, 4, and then the big dog right here 5. Alright. From there, you're also going to have these 2 brackets which we're about to install with 4 of these number 2 bolts or screws or whatever you want to call them. And you're going to have these special washers going on those. From there, we've also got these washers as well right here, but we don't need those just yet. So before I get too ahead of myself, you're going to grab 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the number 2 with 4 of these little fancy washers. Alright y'all, so I've got this set up on my couch, how it would be oriented in the truck. With this version 2, you have 2 mounting options. You have an option for, let's see, this front option is for no power windows, and this back option is going to be for powered windows. So I have powered windows. So we're going to take this little fancy bracket right here with the little nubs, and we're going to go right there. Oh, sorry, that was my phone. Right there. And mind you, I'm going hand tight on everything until everything is finally installed, and then I will go through and systematically tighten everything up. You don't want to cross thread any screws or anything of that nature. Again, these are 4mm Allen, and we're just going to repeat that process right over there. Alright, so this next part, you don't have to do this. I did it for myself, but I went ahead and took a Sharpie and labeled these because some of these are going to be like crisscrossed, and you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. But this biggest spacer is going to be 1 5/8". Next one down is 1.5 inches. Next one down is 1 3/8". 1 1/16", and then 5/16 as the smallest. So we've got that bottom panel fixed up, and we're going to go ahead, get these spacers in place, and then we will go and put that bottom panel on and get those zipped in real quick. 1.5 inch spacer right here, obviously going on top of this bolt. And then you're going to have 1 5/8" right here. And then for these bolts, it's going to be 1 5/8" right there, 1.5 inches right here. Basically what you're doing is crisscrossing those. And then for this hole that we made earlier, along with this one right here, you're going to have the 1 1/16" spacer right there and right there. I'm probably going to cut a little bit more of this carpet out so this flits directly over the hole. So once you get those in place, you're going to come in here and you are going to put your bottom platform on. Alright, so quick little update, a little mistake on my part. There are actually 6 different size bolts. Before, these big daddies right here, these were number 5. These are actually number 6, because before that, it's a 1/4 by 20 2-inch screw, which is going to be the ones that go on the front right here where your old storage was at. So you've got 2 of those, 2 of the locking neon nuts, and then 2 washers. All right, so you've got those 2, and then you've got 4 of the big beefy boys that are going to replace your old bolts where your bracket was. So get those set aside, and then all we got to do now is go ahead and throw this bottom panel in here. I know I keep on saying it, but we're for real this time. I know y'all are probably sick of this by now, but another learning experience. You're gonna have to get rid of your floor mat because it will not give you enough space on the floor right here to get this bolt completely seated. So remove your floor mat, and then you'll be able to put in your 1/4 by 20 2-inch bolt through your spacer, washer, nut, secure. All right, so one thing I forgot to mention, on this top, obviously throw you on a washer before you put that those bolts in. I'm actually gonna have to go through, back those out, put washers in those. I was not thinking. Also online, it doesn't say anything about washers for these 4 bracket bolts, but they obviously included them. So go ahead and throw those washers on as well. Just like everything else, you want everything just to be, you know, finger tight before you start wrenching anything down. I have not gotten over to the bracket that holds the 60% seat in yet, so I have no idea if that's gonna work just yet. But as you can see, we got this side in, bada bing, and we are about to try this side right here. All right, if you're doing this 40% without taking that 60% out, have some patience. So you can't put it on with that bracket. As you can see by all the sweat drippings, had to do a lot of finessing. So basically what I did was I took this piece right here because it's directly attached, and I just wiggled this thing back and forth, left and right, move this panel a little bit wherever I needed it so that I can get these bolts started. These are 5mm Allens, the big ones. These are 4mm Allens, the small ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish getting these hand tight, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, y'all, nearly done. So once you go ahead, get those bolts like snugged up, not super tight. As I mentioned before, I went back through and put those washers on these 2 points right here. The next part is going to be the back. So what you're going to need for that is 4 more of those size 2 bolts, and then you're going to need 2 of these chonk boy washers, the 2 inch and 3/8 spacers, and then 2 of the number 4s. Number 4s. Remember, we had 6, so 1 was the little itty bitty guys. These were number 2, and we had a 3rd set, 4, 5, 6. Sorry if that confused you. That was the best way that I could remember it. If you do go online, there is installation instructions, but I'm a visual learner, so that's why I'm making this video. But get these guys. All right, so couple trial and errors here. There's a lot of things that I'm making and adding into this video that is not in the instruction manual or the one single video that's online that was made, years ago. So what we're gonna do, all right, we've tightened those up these brackets up because we left them hand tight. Went through, added washers to both top and bottom of these. And what I just found out trying to install this back panel here, home stretch, right, is this hook right here that is used for your seat rest to come down and latch and all that jazz has to come out. 12mm. Zip that off. Alright, so I got that off. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put those back in. Shouldn't be an issue. If it is, we'll just take the damn thing off and put it back on. Alright, so back again. This is like 4th time trying to record this. Anyways, so you got your back panel here. You've got 2 holes in the middle that look elongated, right? You've got your bolt with your chunky washer and your 1 and 3/8 spacer. Your spacer is going to go on the back. Bolt, washer, is going to go through the front. You're bolting these into the 2 holes that we took out earlier for the cubby. They were a 10mm. Alright, so what I found that helps out a lot, those bottom brackets down there, you're going to push this up against there. You're going to somewhat get those brackets aligned. Also, before I forget, in editing, that little flap, rip that off with the X-Acto knife. But we're going to put these in the little hole right there. Hole right there. If you lean it just right, the bolts are going to angle forward like so, and they will hold their place. This is a little tricky doing by yourself. I will try to get you angle here. All right. I don't know how well you can see that. So take your spacers, slide those on there. The goal is to not push your bolts back out like I just did there. All right. So from there, you're going to grab from the front. I'm going to push those bolts down. It's going to help seat those spacers. And you're going to push them just forward. All right, this part right here is a little fishing. You just got to fish, find your hole, get those hand tight. All right, y'all. So just like those bottom brackets for the seat, a lot of finessing and finagling with these two top bolts. So from there, it's hand tight, and then we are going to take 4 of these number 2 bolts right here, the same size bolts that we used on those bottom brackets to hold in right there. And we're just gonna throw these in real quick. So a little note, with these, you may have to push this bottom panel back pretty tight, but you're just going to get these hand tight and then zip them down and then tighten up any other additional bolts that you need to. But once I get these finished up, we'll do a quick little overview. So I have got everything all tightened up, buttoned up, and my ADHD got the best of me. I started working on a little another little project. So without further ado, this is the big reveal. So I have so much more room to put that refrigerator in here, plus my power source. As I mentioned before, these are locking. I still have access to my storage down here. I'm actually working on something right now to get that side squared away. And then also some more storage right there. And then I've also purchased these tie-down points that will zip in to these already pre-manufactured holes right here. Boom, 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 boom. So if you're doing just the 40%, there's a couple pieces that you will not use, depending on if you have power windows or not. And then also the joiner brackets. You do not need the joiner brackets unless you are doing both the 40 and the 60%. And those will go right here, and then up here. Since I'm only doing just the 40, I'm just going to keep those in my toolbox just in case if I decide later on down the road that I'm going to go ahead and do the full 60. What I've been working on though, and I'm waiting for it to dry, I'm going to hit it with some hot glue. But basically what I did was I took the 60% storage cubby, well, the full storage cubby, and I chopped it off, boom, right there where the 40% would go, which is this right here. And I've got it all chopped up, and this isn't perfect. This is just a for the time being type fix, but I sat there and I cut off the other portion of that, and I just got this with some super glue right now. I'm going to come in behind it with some hot glue, and then maybe reach out to a couple people and see if I can get a more robust solution to that, because if not, your 60% portion is just wide open, which isn't necessarily an issue, but the more I can minimize things rolling around and maximize storage, the then I'm gonna do that. So I would be back if I got it to work, and baby, I did. Bada bam, right there. So, hang on a sec. What I did was left this side as it is. This is where the factory bottle jack goes. But that right there is just the opposing wall from the original driver's side cubby right here. All I did there was yoink, yoink, cut that off, and then cut pieces as I went to get that to fit. Is this, you know, bulletproof? Absolutely not. But will it work for the time being and give me more secure storage? Absolutely. I think what they should do is realistically make a divider for that, because there's enough track right there to put another piece in. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get those little plastic clips, bing, 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 put those 6 in and call her a day. So for real this time, this is Taz from Take It Outside. Thanks for joining me. Hope you learned something.